I mean, I may have known that at some point, but that wasn't readily available information in my head that Zack Snyder directed Watchmen.
Watchman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and 300.
And
I never watched
Oh,
I
300.
saw
and the original Dawn of the Dead remake that they did a while ago.
yeah, I saw a
I don't know
headline
if I
saying
saw
that there's a
that.
director's cut of Sucker Punch.
Oh, is that him too?
Yikes.
Yeah.
You like that movie though, don't you? Isn't that a good movie?
It's not.
I wanted to
Sucker
like
Punch?
it. I
No.
didn't. I only watched it once, so but
I only watched it once, and it was a movie that
I feel like
I
maybe
don't
I'd
know.
appreciate it more now if I watched it, like going into it and not thinking too much into it. I guess
feel like
because
people still rip on that film. I don't know if they've ever
because
revisited
I
it.
remember that scene like when they're in the bunkers and it almost had like a diva type mech that they were getting into and fighting, and I was like, I gotta like, go back and just see what the hell is going on in those action scenes.
Yeah.
I think it was a good concept. Maybe I just don't know.
Yeah,
if
it just
well.
wasn't
I don't
executed.
know.
I feel like that's his issue all the time, though.
I can't like really differentiate the concepts in my head, but I've never seen that movie. But I have seen Alita Battle Angel, and they're just like kind of merging in my brain right now as the same, even though I know they're not. But
Yeah, they're not.
I also didn't really enjoy Alita Battle Angel.
I didn't either, and everyone loved it. I thought it was okay.
I thought the CG looked really bad.
Yeah, I mean that was whatever too, but
I just thought the movie was boring. I watched it on a flight, and I was like, I'm kind of mad that this is what I chose to do with my time.
like there wasn't much action in it either. There was like one or two scenes. I was just happy Christopher Waltz was in it. But
Yeah, he was the main character, wasn't he? Like, was he like the
I mean,
the
Alita
was
dad
the
type
main
thing?
character.
It's
Scientist?
Alita,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I said a main character. I didn't say the main character.
I thought you said the main
Oh
character.
no, well, the actress that plays her, is she in other things or no?
yeah, she's in a bunch of stuff. She's in the one.
Something
with
else I
Sandra
would
Bullock.
know or no?
The movie when they can't take the things off their face.
Blind Box?
Like yeah, Bird Box.
Bird Box. Yeah, I never saw that. Blind Box is is not that. It's a fucking loot box. Were you gonna say something, Dom?
The other movie. Which movie were you talking about? Promising Young Woman, Mike, or Freaky?
Yeah, I was
'Cause
talking about.
'cause
I was
about
talking
them
about
both.
I was talking about Promising Young Woman.
Yeah, Freaky is also on there. So
I think I saw that you purchased that.
I gotta watch that too.
yeah, I haven't watched that one yet.
I gotta watch a movie, that's for sure. Before we roll into tonight, I do want to just kind of off the top again mention that if you don't know what's going on right now in the Middle East in Palestine, it's very very fucked up. You should definitely take some time to just look at what is actually going on over there, educate yourself from that, because just knowing the realities of what's happening is a big piece of that puzzle, and kind of displacing your own conceptions of what you may be thinking is happening over there. Because I guarantee you, if you don't know what's happening over there, then you may be thinking what's happening isn't what's actually happening. So take some time today, tomorrow, this weekend, whenever you hear this, and definitely educate yourself on that. I know all week we have been a part of a bunch of different group streams to raise money for medical aid for Palestine, medical aid for Palestinians, I'm sorry, which all of the funds from those streams go directly towards that organization to help people who really need it right now, who are being displaced, being hurt, and being, unfortunately, in some situations killed. So definitely take a look at that, take a look at what's going on. I know tonight, if you're watching us live right now, and very shortly, Jesse is going to be doing the final of our weekly streams to raise money. We're almost at $3,000, so if you're interested in hanging out with those guys and gals and other people over there, they will be live over at twitch.tv/Jestifer. So if you are here watching us live and want to check that out, swing over there. Be a good time. I know some of the things they're going to do tonight. I know one of them is redo the Amiibo tier list. That was very... were you there for the Amiibo tier list, Mike, still?
Yeah.
They're going to redo it tonight because
I don't
it was
know.
bad.
It was
Luigi's in
very
the right
hastily
spot.
thrown together.
Luigi was in the right spot. He was S tier. I was fine with that. That's all I cared about.
I'm not saying they're changing everyone, but there's some questionable Amiibo placements there. So go show them some love, educate yourself on what's going on, and yeah, that's where we're at with that stuff. Free Palestine. So I got a week to myself. I just dropped Jen off with her sister. She's gonna be in the Cape for a week with her family. So we fucking gaming all night. We gaming for 27 hours straight.
Oh shit.
Absolutely not.
Mike, what can me and you play from front to back this week? Just a full session of let's just beat this game, co-op.
Were you not listening to me just now when I hard passed?
I'll shoot you over a pizza. You know, I'll get myself a pizza. Hop in the Discord call. We'll play something. Banjo Kazooie, nuts and bolts together.
Brenden doesn't eat pizza
Gross.
anymore.
I'm gonna order a fucking pizza tonight. That's for sure. I don't have any food here right now. Anyways, I don't know, I'm excited. I'm excited to play too many fucking games this week because that's all I'm gonna fucking do is just play video games. I'm very excited for that. But anyways, welcome everyone to the Pass Controller Podcast show, where a couple of best friends talk about the latest in video games and nerd culture. Sometimes we have guests. Sometimes we talk about I don't know, HBO movies, Zack Snyder movies too much. Either way, we have a new episode for you each and every week. As always, I'm your host, Brenden Groom, and joining me on this lovely Saturday evening, he's so fucking money and he doesn't even know it. The anime senpai himself, Mr. Michael is here. Mike, how are you doing tonight?
Here's Mikey.
Yeah, that covers it.
Big winner, Mikey. Big winner. Also joining us is the monster hunter himself, Todd Gary. Todd, how are you doing?
Yo, I'm just living.
We'll get into it. I have some stuff I want to ask you. And then rounding us out this evening, the jet-setting Disney daddy, Dominic 40. Dom, how are you doing tonight?
I'm here. What is on your face, Mike?
I don't know. What was this filter called?
Reindeer?
Fairy Queen. Fairy Queen is what this one's called.
I like it, Mike.
Solid.
You should use some more purple eyeshadow. I fucks with it.
I'm gonna keep digging through these, find one I actually like.
Well, before we roll into tonight's topics, I guess we can roll through a couple of housekeeping things. This episode of the Pass Control Podcast is sponsored by our good friends at Goodnight Fatty. If you're in the Salem, Massachusetts area or the North Shore of on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday evening, and you want yourself something delicious, something sweet, something hot and fresh out of the oven, you can head on down to 1 Washington Square and get yourself a delicious fatty. And if you're unaware of what a fatty is, you can check them out on social media at Goodnight Fatty and educate yourself on these tasty, tasty treats. And if you're around on a Sunday morning and you want something hot and fresh to get your morning going, you can head on down to that same place and get yourself a good morning chubby. And they were just featured recently on the news. They had a little, I don't know if anyone saw that. They had
Channel 10 was doing a whole week on Salem.
Yeah, so they had a nice little spot on there, a couple minutes, a little feature on them. I'm sure you can find that on the internet if you want to see what they are all about. But good people, good food. Let them know Pass Controller sent you. A few other housekeeping things before we roll into it. The PTC Movie Club pick for May is Dom's pick, and he picked The Haunted Mansion.
You're gonna hate it.
Is there more than one, or if I say Haunted Mansion, that's it?
It's okay. Disney's The Haunted Mansion.
Disney's The Haunted Mansion, starring Eddie Murphy. So if you have any interest in being a part of this month's PTC Movie Club, we will be talking about that on the next episode, because it's the last episode of the month, where we will also reveal Todd's pick for June. Is June next? June's next. Todd's pick for June. A few other housekeeping things before we roll into it. I got a review up for Emily's Away 3, so if you're interested in that, check it out on our website at passthecontroller.io. And yeah, that's about it. Well, we got some other stuff coming later this week, so keep your eyes peeled for some VR reviews. Mike, Todd, and I are playing 2 different VR games. I can mention we're playing them, but we can't talk about them. So we're playing Demio, which is like a tabletop RPG dungeon crawler blend that is we'll be talking about that later in the week, next week. And then Forever Bowl, which is a very good bowling game that we are enjoying. Todd is enjoying a lot. Todd's fucking pro bowler over here. Dom, you'd probably love it because
dude,
Todd,
it's so good.
because you both bowl.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking great. It's without getting into it too much.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
So we will get into those sometime next week or the week after. So look forward to those little discussions and reviews on those 2 games coming down the pipeline. Anyways, before we roll into the 2 bigger topics of the evening, I know you were on a trip, Dom. Did you play anything? Anything make its way onto your Switch or other while you're traveling? Any travel games?
So I was going through some more 3D World.
Oh, nice.
Because I just pick away at it whenever I can. I had installed the Melody of Memories. Is that the Kingdom Hearts game?
Oh, is it the Is it like a rhythm game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically,
And I played through the first song, and then I realized, oh shit, this is showing cutscenes from all the games. Let me stop playing this. So I
Yes.
put
Okay.
I put a pause on that. But that's, I mean, besides like my everyday phone games, Galaxy of Heroes is adding Jedi Master Kenobi, so that's exciting. But
What other mobiles do you get dailies in still?
that's really the only one that I'm still doing like all the time.
Yeah. I do
I'll pop
Pokemon.
into
I do
I'll
Pokemon
pop
Go
into
once in a
emoji.
while.
Yeah, I'll pop into Emoji Blitz whenever there's an event that I want to
Yeah.
take part in. But
I will say, if any of you still have Pokemon Go on your phone still, like, because I pop into it kind of often. I go in like chunks. It'll be like, I'll play it like for a full week, and then I won't play it again for a bit. But whenever I pop in, it's usually like for a string of days at least. And sometimes just like to pull it out, like if I have to go somewhere or whatever, just to see if like, oh, have these gyms changed? Like, are people playing it? And it's like, there's still a very large community that plays that game. Like, it's still very active, which is kind of cool to see. It's obviously not.
I've seen that they're like still like updating it like pretty continuously.
Yeah, they just, I'm pretty sure the most recent event added the legendaries from X and Y. So like they add stuff all the time. They change things.
I might have to jump back in now.
What the fuck out, Todd. What about you, Todd? What have you been playing other than the VR stuff?
What have I been playing? Oh, Mass Effect. I've been playing a ton of Mass Effect.
How are you?
Oh, I
How are
gotta
your
get that
thoughts
still.
changing on that?
It's not like I really am enjoying the game, but at the same time, I'm really frustrated with the game. And I know that the original game is just old, and
Yeah.
it is what it is. But,
It's not that bad.
it's pretty bad.
It's not.
Like the amount of backtracking and elevators and just like
In
you
the
can't
Citadel?
No, I'm talking about like even Novaria. That's where I was, and there was like a
Okay.
point where there was like 8 different elevators on one floor, and it's like go to this spot, but you can't look at the next floor on the maps. You actually have to be on
Yeah.
the floor to look at. So it's just like
I mean, honestly, listen, for stuff like that, if you're getting
probably
stuck,
wasted
just
like
throw.
2.5 hours.
Yeah,
Like,
but for stuff like that, if you're just like, if that's the stuff that's slowing you down, just fucking throw a guide on to get through it or something. Just
no, I
because,
made my way through it. I
like,
just,
the story
have to,
is so good and the characters are so great, and once you get to 2, the games are a little bit more
clicking
modern.
for me really right now though. When should they start clicking for me? Because so far
I mean, it depends what you're doing. Are you like actually reading dialogue and stuff, or are you skipping through shit?
Yeah, no,
I doubt it.
I did all of Novaria.
Who do you roll with in your party?
The same people I've been rolling with.
I don't know who that is. Okay.
Garrus, Shepard, and who's the girl with like the
Tali.
purple little thing? And,
Tali.
Yes, yeah. Those are my 3.
I mean, yeah, that's a good party. I mean, they definitely get more fleshed out and more rewarding when you get to the next game. For sure.
Yeah, like there's been a bunch of times too where they just aren't moving, and I'm like going along the level, and I'm like, I've run into a bunch of bugs so far, but it's not whatever.
It's nothing crazy.
Game,
Yeah, it's nothing crazy.
Yeah, nothing that. But I'm just waiting. I'm just gonna truck through it because I really want to play it before I dive into 2. So like I'm just gonna make myself finish it.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I mean, and you can get to. I feel like you can get through 1 relatively quickly. I feel like if you wanted, like, you can still get a lot of meaningful stuff without like doing all the side shit and whatever.
Yeah.
Though
How long do you think that
the
game is?
DLC in the game, that's because all the DLC is included. The DLC is actually, did the first game have DLC? I don't remember. Maybe the second game did, but I don't know. You could probably get through it in like, I don't know. I don't know. Just look it up on how long to beat. I was gonna say 20 to 40 hours. That's a big window. But I feel like you can get through it rather quickly. It's not super long. But yeah, I mean, I haven't. This week I've been just kind of on pause from a lot of things because I ended up being a part of most of the charity stream stuff. So I was pretty much playing and doing stuff in those streams all week. So I didn't play much Mass Effect. I didn't play much Famicom Detective Club. So I've been kind of just on the fringe playing other stuff. What about Rust? You said you played Rust for a little bit. How's your first interaction with that on console?
Exactly
on console.
I mean, yeah, it's exactly what I thought it would be. I just played for like a half hour, 45 minutes, but yeah, it's one of those games like jumping into Minecraft and knowing not even what you're supposed to do. I mean, I kind of have somewhat of an idea, but I mean, there's people running around with bases everywhere on the server you're in, and I don't even have like a fucking weapon or anything. I have like a little rock that I'm running around with, chopping down trees.
It's on Game Pass?
No, I bought it.
Oh, I don't know if I'll buy that. I don't know if that's my type of game.
Yeah, it's out there. Like I'm sure it makes for like some funny nights of like random shit and everything.
Is it 60 or is it cheaper?
$49.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll get it. We'll see.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, whatever.
I mean, yeah, it would probably be a good. Like, I wouldn't want to play that game alone. Like, if like the three of us or four of us got on that, I think we could maybe have some fun with that.
Yeah, I'm sure because everyone talks too. Everyone I've come into, I feel like everyone wants like the next best like TikTok video while playing this game.
Yeah.
Everyone's like streaming it, hoping to like just be a douchebag to someone.
Yeah. What about you, Mike? Anything swinging its way onto your radar this week?
Nope.
Outside of the VR stuff.
Nope.
I will say, so one of the streams that we did for charity, a portion of that we did a frozen food tier list, and I had to go to Target this week. Well, first of all, Dom or Todd, do either of you have any feelings either way about toaster strudels and or Pop-Tarts?
No, I'm not a big fan.
No. I mean, I'll grab a cinnamon sugar Pop-Tart every once in a while as just like a snack, but
I would only eat a s'mores one, and I haven't had a s'mores one since I was like 16.
Would you even buy toaster strudels or no?
No.
Okay, so I agree with you. I haven't had Pop-Tarts in a while, but I like Pop-Tarts. But toaster strudels, like, to me, has always just been trash in my brain. I've never liked a toaster strudel, but I had to go to the store this week to get some stuff, so I was like, fuck it. Like, let me grab a box of toaster strudels and just see what the deal is here. And I cooked one, and they're fucking bad. Like, they're not good. Like, some people in the stream were making like a big case for like toaster strudels were like S tier, A tier, S tier frozen foods, and I don't know.
I've never heard that. I mean, I know that's not like something we bring up a long time, like frozen food, like tier list, but like fucking strudels, S tier, no way.
I mean, like, what's an S tier frozen food for you, Todd?
As far as what, like anything
frozen food, anything.
Oof, I don't know. It depends, like, because I like some random shit. Like,
throw them in there.
Yeah, it's like
Dino nuggets. That's what you're gonna say.
Yeah, no, like there's like these Whole Food samosa things that like I like chicken samosa things that I can eat like 100 of them, like something like that. But no, yeah, it's What would you do for pizza? Best frozen pizza? Did you guys do that?
Yes, there was some debates here. I think the list that we did only had 2 maybe pizzas on it, maybe a Red Baron pizza and a DiGiorno, and like to me those aren't even the best pizzas.
No, DiGiorno I don't mind.
Yeah, DiGiorno is good for what it is, but like Elio's pizza wasn't on there, and Elio's pizza is my shit. Like, I don't care if that's trash. Like, that's good trash.
Pizza, but I get that for Liam, and I end up eating like one every single time.
I fucking love Elio's. Elio's is my shit.
It's
fucking
not good, but it's
those
so good.
Celeste pizzas, I haven't had one in forever, but like I used to eat the shit out of those too.
Yeah, I get Prince pizza. That should be like, that's S tier right there. You get like the frozen Prince pizza in the stores.
Yeah.
Wait, do they sell that in stores?
Yeah, it's so good too.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Do you have like an S tier fucking top tier frozen food, Dom? That you can think of or no? I don't eat a lot of frozen food
not
anymore
really,
like that, so it's like I don't.
Yeah, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. And the thing that I was gonna say with toaster strudels is, if I want a toaster strudel like that, I'm gonna get a Pop-Tart because it doesn't take half an hour to fucking cook. Like,
so
you can just eat a fucking Pop-Tart.
I know.
Like, I don't want any prep time. Like,
so like I put the toaster strudel in the toaster, and it was just like, I don't know why I would ever buy that again. I would never buy that again. I'll just go to a local coffee shop or bakery and get a fucking pastry.
Yeah.
I feel like the ice cream, the Chipwich sandwiches is like an S tier frozen.
Oh,
food.
see, there was no ice cream on there or anything, right, Mike? It was nothing like that.
I believe the entire list were things that you would warm up.
Yeah. Okay.
And
like
like a M&M cookie sandwich or something.
Oh, so good. Oh man, yeah, all day long.
I do like ice cream type sandwiches. Those are fucking Chipwich is god tier. Like, I love Chipwiches.
Yeah, so good.
I feel like I haven't seen. I mean, I'm not like shopping for fucking Chipwiches, but the last time I did buy one, like, I like them when they have the chocolate chips around the outside too, and I don't see those in the stores.
No, I don't find them that much anymore.
No.
I think Trader Joe's might have one of those, but
interesting. Okay,
other than that,
that's what makes it good.
The ones made by M&M don't have that around them, but they're still so freaking good.
Yeah, the M&M ones are. That's like a soft cookie. That's like a good cookie.
Yeah.
They had a few different Eggos on there, and like, I haven't had them in a while, but those cinnamon toast, those like cinnamon ones that are like little 4 like they're split into 4.
Yeah.
Those are fucking godly. Like that's S tier for me. Like I love that shit.
See, I would never eat waffles. I'd rather eat like eggs and bacon or something. Like I just don't ever want like a pastry.
There were like some Jimmy Dean sandwiches on there, but I don't eat that shit, so I don't fucking know.
No, I don't like Jimmy Dean's shit either. Yeah, I wouldn't eat that.
I don't know. I mean, this was like it was garbage
Make my
food.
own
It was a
shit.
garbage food list. Like that was the point of it. It wasn't like
Yeah.
It's frozen food.
Fucking Trader Joe's shit, Todd. Fucking Whole Foods, fucking organic. Yeah, I don't know. There was some stuff. Mike fucks with fish sticks apparently. Mike's a big fish stick guy.
Mike, you like fish sticks?
Yes, Dom. I love fish sticks. I love putting them in my mouth.
You were going to bat for them, right? Weren't you going to bat for the fish sticks?
I can't remember if I did it. Like I do. Like fish sticks are fine. I don't remember if I was going to bat for them, especially since I don't know any fish sticks by brand.
Yeah, I mean,
So, like,
I
I'll
would-
eat them, but I don't
Trust the Gordon's Fisherman.
That's the one. Yeah, that's what I was.
trust the golden fisherman.
I don't know. Dom just pulled that. That's a WandaVision commercial right there.
I mean, Gordon's is out of Gloucester.
Yeah.
It's a local
Holy
brand.
shit, that's probably fucking Jen's story, Mike.
What
So-
was your story?
So
Did she
what-
meet the Gordon's Fisherman?
So her apparently, and maybe it's maybe 2 fish sticks originated in fucking Massachusetts, but she said that growing up, her like grandmother had a lake house in New Hampshire or Maine. I can't remember, one of the two. Where is Sarah's? Maine or New Hampshire?
It's
on the
literally
coast.
on the border, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's near there. Anyways, regardless, it doesn't matter. She said that growing up, like they had their shitty little fucking cottage up there, and the inventor, quote unquote, of fish sticks also had one, and it was like she described it as it was like watching a Great Gatsby party every time we were up there from our
I do
shitty little
recall that.
fucking place.
I do recall that story.
And they were the fucking inventors, or maybe they were the Gordon's fucking fish sticks guys. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, so fish sticks. Fucking,
I don't know why. I mean, I guess it's possible. It just seems weird that if you live in Gloucester to have like a lake house in Maine, but
I mean, it's different.
Yeah.
Different
Gloucester
fucking.
kind of sucks, though. Gloucester.
Yeah,
isn't
it
the
does.
greatest.
But like open water
I mean,
and
it's
fucking
not- it's
fresh
alright.
water are different, though. You know.
yeah, they're different, yeah.
You get different vibes out in those 2 places.
Yes.
Anyways, we just got super fucking derailed. How did we even get there? I don't even know. Mike didn't play any games.
Were we on rails?
We're never on rails. This is we're an off rail shooter. We're never on rails. The other thing I'll bring up is I want to spend more time with it, but I briefly played Knockout City, which I enjoyed the few matches I played. I know Todd said he fucking hated it, but
That's the
Yeah,
dodgeball game.
I've
Dodgeball
seen
game,
a
man.
lot of people say they liked it too, and I'm just curious what.
I think you need to play
yeah.
a little bit more of it, Todd, because like it's like easy in concept, but there's like
Yeah.
you can like get into it. Like there's like definitely like more strategy and like technical shit you can dive into if you want to like
that's
be
just a
good.
game that like I have to play with people because like I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's
I mean, I was
Yeah.
playing it the first few matches that I played, I was fucking schooling people, and
yeah.
I think that like if I got paired up against people who knew what they were doing or were good, like it would be a much like better experience.
I kept on grabbing that moon ball and just fucking jumping all over the place.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's on Game Pass, Tom, so you can download it for
Okay,
free.
that's what I was gonna ask you.
I think for all platforms it's on. It has like I think it's 10 days free right now, but on Xbox it's on Game Pass, which is great because it's part of EA Play. So I'm gonna check it out more. We'll see. I will say one of the streams we did for the charity thing, we played a few hours of Sea of Thieves, and I'll just throw this out there to the group. I could play Sea of Thieves again. I would do it.
Bro, I've been begging you to play Sea of Thieves for like 3 fucking years.
It was not a bad time. Once like
no shit.
it was like a little jarring at first because like there's a lot of stuff to like you're fucking sailing a boat and you need to be like
It's
paying
way
attention and
different than
communicating.
The last time we played it too.
But
There's, like,
once there's a lot more there. But like once we like kind of got our footing and the 4 of us were like communicating like, hey, raise the sails, turn this, like doing that stuff. It's like we were fucking cruising. It was a good time. I was having
Yeah, but
having a blast.
that's not what's gonna happen if the 4 of us play.
No, Todd's gonna shoot himself in a cannon to another person's ship and try to fucking.
We're just gonna try to
That's
sink
fair.
all the ships. Yep.
That's the best part.
But it is the best part. We got into a duel before we ended the stream where
There's a multiplayer mode now.
There is a
You can
multiplayer mode too, yeah.
just do that in a small, like a decent sized area, and last
Yeah.
man standing wins.
But I'd rather play the regular thing just because like I like finding chests and like solving the fucking riddles and stuff.
Did you see how like the back of the boats now have other boats that like?
Yes,
it
you
has,
can
like,
little mini boats.
So
Yes.
like people store their loot there, so people will get on the back of people's boats, grab their boat, that little mini boat in the back, throw the loot on there, and just hop off.
Who the fuck would put their loot there?
Idiots.
That's a horrible idea.
I know.
Anyways, yeah, I didn't uninstall it. I would play that again.
I told you I tried searching for you guys for a little bit. I was like jumping around.
It would have been amazing if you ran into us. That would have been
I
incredible.
was paying attention to where you guys are putting it on the map. How many people can be on it? Can more than?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I was gonna join you, but then I was like, oh, it might just throw me on your boat. And I'm like, do that. I want to sink you guys.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It's so fucking good. But anyways, so the first of two main topics tonight are I don't know if anyone actually watched it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I was kind of tuning in and out and then just got recaps after. But the new, well, not the new, but the Overwatch team without Jeff Kaplan. I forget the gentleman who's in charge of the team now. Do you know, Mike?
Aaron Keller, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I can look it up, but I'm not going to.
Say Helen Keller.
So they did a little presentation on some new stuff coming to Overwatch 2, including they revealed 3 new maps. There was 4 total that they showed off during the presentation, but they revealed 3 more. So we got a little bit of a deeper dive into Toronto, which they showed off, I think initially when they first showed off Overwatch 2. I think Toronto was the new map they showed. So they gave us Toronto, New York, Rio, and Monte Carlo. They all look pretty good. The payload on the Rio map is like a giant peacock float, which is pretty great. The New York map looks pretty cool. There's a little like Jeff Kaplan pizza joint there, which is great. I thought that was pretty good. But they showed off those maps. I think the meatiest thing to come from, they played some matches too, so like you could watch some of the pros and other people that they got involved playing some matches in Overwatch 2 on those maps. And in those scenarios, some of the things that I picked up on were updates to like the UI, where when you're playing as Zenyatta, like if you throw your healing orb on someone on your screen as Zenyatta, it like has a new icon that shows you who has the orb on it. So it's like easier for you to kind of see who has your orbs. Same thing with Discord orbs. So it has like just little enhancements like that to kind of just make it better for, certain characters. Like I think that, what makes Zenyatta a much easier to kind of know what's going on, especially when the matches are getting chaotic, who has your orbs and whatnot. So little things like that. But the biggest change is that the game is going to go from 6v6 to 5v5. And with that change, they are pushing it to be 2-2-1, with 1 being the tank. So team comps going forward are going to be 2 DPS, 2 support, and 1 tank. And all of the tanks in the game are getting like major adjustments and basically buffs because they're going to be solo tanks.
6 years later, and these fuckers still don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like, it's.
Well, why do you say that? Like,
Because you know how toxic the community is in Overwatch. You have 1 tank. Think of all the pressure that 1 fucking tank's gonna have on them that whole fucking time.
Well,
if that tank's not hanging, then fucking the rest of the team's probably not doing. Even with the buffs and whatever.
Yeah, but you can say that with if it's 2 tanks and two tanks aren't doing anything, it's the same thing. I mean,
yeah, but at least you have like room for like.
But what does that have to do with the Overwatch team? Like, what does that have to do with the Overwatch team?
Because like they keep on like trying to like. I mean, I don't feel like that's a huge change, but it's just like.
You don't think going from 6v6 to 5v5 is a huge team?
Well, I mean,
change?
I think it's a change, but like I just don't think that's something that make me get excited over a new Overwatch.
I mean, that's fine if it doesn't get you excited, but I think that like. Going from 6v6 to 5v5, I think changes like the meta of the game itself. Like I think it changes the core like strategy of the game. Am I wrong there? I don't know. Mike, Dom, do you have any input on that?
You know what this means? I don't have to play with you guys anymore.
There's
like,
4 of
I got a
us.
full 5 stack, and then
I'm
like, oh, sorry guys.
I'm
I
confused
didn't even think about
because
that actually.
didn't they say they were sharing servers?
Yeah, they did. Like if you had the old game, you could still play, right?
Well, what I'm assuming is that this is just going to be, maybe they said it in the stream. I don't think they did, but maybe this is just going to be like the competitive game mode is 5v5, and then the other modes, they'll probably have maybe 5v5 modes and 66 modes, or when Overwatch 2 comes out, maybe the core gameplay just changes to 5v5 and there's no more 6v6.
They should just make the core gameplay total mayhem.
Yes,
Dom is thinking outside
that
the
is
box.
like the surefire way to get me to never play Overwatch again. I mean, I'm not. The thing that I don't like the most is just the thought of like locked set numbers of roles.
Yeah,
That's the thing that I don't like.
Exactly.
But I don't necessarily hate the concept of the one tank and the tank role kind of changing in a drastic way, to the point where, it basically all of the tanks are going to become more viable characters in their own right because they're the only tank on the map. And then I think it also makes the tank pick like way more crucial, like almost potentially the most crucial pick. Like it might end up, it might not making the tank I mean, but I love that idea. Like as someone who plays a lot of Reinhardt,
you're
like
good with Reinhardt, so like I don't know. Some of these people think they're like good tanks, and then
yeah, but like maybe then you'll see a lot more people who are like, no, I'm a good tank player, so like I just play tank now. You know what I mean? Instead of like flopping around to other stuff, and you'll push people away who don't want that pressure, who don't want to play tanks. So I think you'll see like, a better thinning out of the people picking and playing tank roles. Maybe, who knows? I don't fucking know. You know what I say? If you want to play Overwatch in a serious way, play with a full team that you know. That's the baseline for me. But I'm it's not necessarily a change that gets me excited. Like I'm not excited about it, but I am excited for Overwatch 2. So like I'm going into Overwatch 2 with a very open mind of I'm okay with seeing what they want to change and play around with and try out new things. I just hope that at the end of the day, for me, it's a game that I still want to play when that happens.
So I also am excited to see what they make changes to.
Yeah.
But haven't they already decided that locking people into roles wasn't working?
Yeah. I mean, this
now you're locking people into roles like
Yeah,
even more by like taking out a tank and wedging people even more.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch the full live stream, so I don't know if these were things they talked about or if they were saying that they're still tweaking and working and tooling with some of the stuff, so it may evolve and change. And I'm sure a lot of these things will evolve and change over time. Like what we saw this week, if that's what we get in 2022 or whenever Overwatch 2 comes out, because they did say at the earliest this game is next year, late next year, but I don't even think it's then, to be honest. I'm sure what we have seen this week is not going to be fully the final thing anyway.
they said earliest is late next year.
They said earliest is late next year. Which again, I'm fine with. Like, take as long as you need. The game at this point, Overwatch is going on 6 years. Like, the people that still want to play it are still playing it and enjoying it. The people who moved on. That's fine.
I think that's
take
wild
your
to me,
time
though.
with 2. Like, make 2 a good game, so that way the people who left Overwatch come back and new players, can find it and enjoy it too.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they should take their time, but I have zero interest in 2. But I think it's wild that like for the next year, let's say give or take and a half, they're just riding on what they got going right now.
I mean, I don't think they're just riding on it. Like they're working on this game and they want it to be good. They want it to be a good game. I mean, they could have rushed it out. They could have fucking they could have very easily threw together a very minimally expanded game and put that out, last holiday to sell something. And I'm sure Blizzard / Activision fucking wanted them to do that, but maybe there's people there that are really fighting against it. Maybe that's why Kaplan left. Who knows? Like, who the fuck knows? So I'm excited. Some of the other changes that they talked about were, obviously the tanks are going to get probably the most changes just because they need to change how that role functions on a team. I know some of the stuff they showed, Reinhardt will have a second fire strike, so he'll have 2 projectiles per charge instead of 1. And Winston, in addition to his like regular the way his gun normally functions, where it's kind of like magnets onto everything around you, you can also charge it up and shoot like a straight laser at someone, so you have a much more ranged option with him as well.
So that was for multiplayer. I would like saw bits.
This is for the core multiplayer. Yes, I mean
okay. So May doesn't freeze people anymore. Then
in the core multiplayer, right? As of right now, yes.
Yeah, game's trash. I'm done. I was already done with it, but now I'm even more done.
I mean, that's the one change.
Isn't that the core mechanic of May?
Yeah, it's like doesn't even make any sense. It just slows people down.
No, slows people down. She can freeze herself. She can throw up walls.
Yeah, fuck that.
I mean, she can freeze the whole team with her ultimate unless they change that. I think I'm sure that maybe the May changes. They notice a lot of people. She can be overpowering by freezing people. I don't know.
Like no one even uses her half the time.
I don't know. I mean,
I can't
they obviously have more access to the user data than we do. We don't know what people are picking and how those players are getting used and aren't used. So who knows? But I'm interested to see. I can't wait to see how more of these other heroes change down the line, just because I want to see if, it's the same thing with like a new fighting game. Between different versions of Smash Brothers, I usually don't play the character from the game before because they change certain things that I don't vibe with, but then I end up finding someone else who fits into my rhythm. So I'm excited for those things. I hope at the end of the day for me, it's just it's not the wrong changes for me personally, and I end up still playing and liking the game because I do love Overwatch.
The craziest thing is we don't really even play Overwatch anymore, and
you have this weird negative energy about it. Like,
wait, no, I'm saying, but do we really? We don't play Overwatch.
Yeah, but it's always installed on my Xbox. Like, if someone was like, "Hey, let's play it," but if someone was like, "Hey, let's play Overwatch," I would play Overwatch.
Regardless, so none of us play Overwatch right
now.
But
that's the thing. Like, you have this weird negative energy about it. Like,
it's not.
I don't need at this point.
I'm pointing out the obvious right now.
No, but but what's the point of making that comment? Is what I'm saying.
Because I'm trying to make a point right now.
All right.
So none of us have played it relatively much in the last year and a half. Okay. And
over the last 12 months, I have played a good amount of Overwatch.
We've had like maybe 3 nights probably where we.
I've played Overwatch with Cam and other people more than a handful of times.
Okay.
I've played an okay amount of Overwatch. I made points to sign in and fucking get achievements in some of the events. Like, I've played a good amount of Overwatch, I would say, for a 5-year-old game.
Yeah, but regardless, none of us, like I said, none of us are really playing it that much. So now another year and a half of us probably not playing it that much because the other game doesn't come out for another year and a half. I'm just curious. Like, I mean, it's where we're going to be at that point, because are we still going to be excited there? Or is there going to be a new game out at that point? I mean, feel like that's a long time.
You can speak for yourself. I mean, I am excited about it. I've been excited about Overwatch 2 since it got announced. Like, I'm when that game comes out, it's day one. I'm going to play the shit out of that game, and hopefully love it. But like, the point of Overwatch for me now is like, it's a game that will always be available in my rotation. Like, I love Smash. I don't play Smash all the time, but like, we played Smash Monday night for like fucking 6 hours, and that was a great time. And it doesn't make me say Smash is a bad game or it's not good anymore or it's old or whatever. It's just, I don't need to play it all the time. There's so many games that we all play. Like, I don't have time to dedicate to one game anymore. Like, it's not like that. If Overwatch got its fucking fangs into us. Like, we were addicted to Overwatch. Like, Overwatch controlled us. It was our game. Like, we dropped any other multiplayer game. Like, in any other multiplayer game that came out within like the first 2-3 years of Overwatch didn't stand a fucking chance. Like, nothing stood a chance against that. Like, I'm trying to think of other games that came out during that time frame. I don't know. Like, we dropped Rainbow Six and really never went back to it in a hardcore way after Overwatch came out. Fortnite is probably the only other game that like kind of rotated itself in for me, at least. But
Destiny.
Even Destiny, I mean, I would love to play Destiny more. I would even go back to 2. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would. It's all of the expansions are on Game Pass. Like, I have flirted many times with downloading those games.
I have downloaded them, and then I just delete it because I'm like, what am I doing?
I did download it within the last 6 months and played some Crucible, and then I was like, I don't know if I can do this right now. It's a lot. Commitment. It's a huge commitment.
If you're gonna jump back into that, yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, Todd and I have talked ad nauseum about Overwatch 2. The stuff that they're showing off and talking about here, does this do anything for either of you, or kind of indifferent right now, or you don't see yourself caring about Overwatch in the future?
Yeah, I'm indifferent. Like, when it comes out, I'll play it, and then if it actually feels fun, then I'll play it more. But right now, I'm just like, well, yeah, more Overwatch.
Are you worried with what they're showing and doing, Mike, that it won't be like fun for you?
Hey, listen, you bring back Total Mayhem, I'm in.
I'm sure the arcade modes are not going anywhere. I honestly think for again, this is of zero interest to Todd, which is unfortunate. Maybe his mind will change when it happens. But I think that like the more robust single player stuff, I think the three of us are going to enjoy that. I think we're going to have some fun with that, especially if there's just achievements to get through that, which I'm sure there will be.
I also hope it's co-op.
I think it will be. If they don't make that part co-op, they drop the fucking ball. Like that's a huge mistake if it's not co-op. I'm sure it will be.
I guess that's where I'm at this point. Is we don't know enough. Yeah. There's plenty of stuff that I could get excited for, but we don't know enough for me to start actually getting excited.
And it's all gonna change.
Like Mike said, I'll buy it and I'll play it when it comes out, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I hope it can recapture the magic of when the first one came out, and then we're all digging it and playing it. Because if there's any games that we're gonna like all group up and go nuts for and play all the time, Overwatch.
Mario Golf.
Yeah, right.
I'm fucking down. Mario Golf is gonna be fucking real good. I hope. Looks very, very good. Can we convince Mike to buy Mario Golf? Well, that's the question.
Mike, you trying to play some Scramble with us?
Yeah, you have to sell me really hard. I don't
Mike,
know what...
Really?
You can be Mike.
Yeah,
you can be Wario in a cowboy hat.
Yeah, that's
Mike,
true.
Rosalina is so good that she doesn't actually hold the golf club. She waves her wand to swing the golf club.
That is impressive, but it is also
Urkel's grandma.
Like you can be King Bob-omb.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time ever in a Mario game you could be King Bob-omb.
Wow.
He wasn't in.
I don't know if
any of the other sports games.
I don't think so. If he was in like one of the ones I missed, like the 3DS basketball game, which I'm sure he was not in that game, or like one of the baseball ones. I didn't play all the baseball ones. Or like the sports mix one for 3DS. I didn't play that game. It had like horse racing and shit. It had a lot of random things in it. I did not play that one. Anyways, I guess we can move on from Overwatch 2. I hope it is a good game. That's all I hope for. I just hope it's a good game. I just want it to be good. Give me fucking cross progression. Cross play would be great. Cross play would be like the best thing, obviously. But if that's not possible, let me be able to log in to Overwatch 2 on a different game system if I want to play with people who are playing on PlayStation and still have all my fucking shit. Because that's the most annoying thing. Like, at this point, I definitely would have purchased Overwatch already on PlayStation if I could carry over all my cosmetics. But the fact that not only do I have to unlock everything again, but I have to grind to level 25 again, like, I'm never going to do that on another system. Like, it's just not happening. I never even hit 25 on Switch because I didn't have the patience to hit 25. That's so many matches. Yeah, right. It's so many matches. You hit 25 on Switch?
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I
played a lot on Switch.
I thought it ran fine on Switch for what it was. Like I played on Switch, no problem. But I would buy it on Play. I mean, I have it on fucking everything else. I bought it on PC to play.
It's so funny. Like thinking of playing that game just makes me just like I just have zero interest in it.
Oh, you're crazy. I love Overwatch. It'll never get old.
Yeah,
to me.
I'm saying like I used to like beg people to play, and now I'm just like I have zero interest in that game.
I mean,
give me Rainbow Six. I'd rather play all day, every day.
Rainbow Six is whatever. You complain about that game too.
I still like it though. I still like it. It's enjoyable.
You're crazy. Anyways, the last thing that I wanted to bring up tonight before we wrap things up this evening was so I know we haven't talked a lot about the Apple and Epic lawsuit ongoing court case that's been happening, but I'm sure we've talked about other things that have come out of that case, but we haven't really talked about the case itself specifically. But recently, this week, there was a portion of the, I don't know, stuff being submitted to court that Nintendo stepped in to ask to be redacted. And that's now raising a bunch of interesting concerns here. So I pulled up the pages. So there is a full page that is completely redacted, so you don't know what it says. The other page, which I guess I can read if you guys want. So let's see. The top sentence is a fragment, and it doesn't really say much other than it seems to be that they're talking about mobile gaming. So they said, this is quote, that we are hearing, can we do this on mobile? Question, okay. So your customers, there is a demand from your customers on Xbox to have streaming available on mobile, including iOS? Answer, that's correct. Then a big block of redacted things, which if you had to guess me, this was maybe them clarifying, does this include Nintendo? Would be my guess. Just following that line of questioning there. The next question that's not redacted, that's part of this. Have you been involved in them? Answer, I have not. Question, who's involved in those discussions? Answer, primarily the Game Pass content team and other members of the gaming leadership team. Question, so I'm just curious, what about your job has you involved in the discussions to put streaming available on Apple, on iOS, but doesn't have you also involved with regard to the redacted? So I'm assuming this is just them asking flat out questions about Game Pass on Switch. Right? Like, what else could that be?
Game Pass on smart TVs.
But why would Nintendo come in and redact it, Mike?
When did the redacted reports come out?
On, looks like May 18th.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I already read all the stuff not redacted like a few months ago.
These things are available to read otherwhere?
I am pretty sure I read the thing about Game Pass being on Nintendo Switch.
So, I mean, if that's the case, then if that exists and these are those things, and then Nintendo asked them to be redacted, then that I would argue that is even like a more clear, blatant thing of saying like they're working out a situation where Game Pass is coming to Switch.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to find it very quickly. So
while you're looking for that, then I will. So Stephen Totillo tweeted in regards to this with pictures of these redacted documents, saying Nintendo says these portions of an Xbox BizDev exec's deposition in the Epic vs. Apple lawsuit, quote, reflect competitively sensitive information about negotiations between Nintendo and Microsoft. And the person in this deposition was being primarily deposed about trying to bring xCloud to iOS and more broadly discussed console business. So if I'm Nintendo and I'm stepping in to have these things redacted for some reason, it's got to be some sort of, we're working with Microsoft maybe to work on cloud gaming. Maybe it's not Game Pass. Maybe it's cloud gaming. Or maybe it's Game Pass. Or maybe it's xCloud. Who knows what it could be. But I just think, obviously this is, exciting, stuff to think about and go down the rabbit hole and theorize and whatnot. But it was especially relevant to me simply because I've been saying for a long time now that I'm telling you that Game Pass will eventually show up on Switch. It would make sense if Nintendo partnered with Microsoft in some way to, at the bare minimum, use their xCloud infrastructure to help, make a streaming service, even if it's, again, not a Microsoft or Game Pass or xCloud branded service, but to use their infrastructure to stream games on the Switch. And to me, this seems like they're trying to cover up those things. Because if it wasn't relevant or Nintendo wasn't interested in doing streaming or Game Pass on the Switch, why the fuck would they care if this information was out there? If it was just them saying no, or if it was just something being brought up in court and then dismissed. I don't know. I don't know where everyone else kind of stands on this.
Because they just sue everyone and they don't want any information out, regardless if it's nothing or anything at any point.
That could be possible too.
I will say that they're pretty fucking. No, I honestly wouldn't be surprised. I would love to see Game Pass on Switch. I just have a hard time seeing that because I feel like that would detract from Nintendo's own hardware. You know what I'm saying? If it was I feel like
how though? You mean their own software?
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's why I was like,
yeah, Sorry. Yeah, because it's just, any new game that comes to Game Pass, they're gonna fucking now get
Well,
on
so
Switch.
here's the thing: if Game Pass came to Switch, Game Pass wouldn't be the same Game Pass library that's on Xbox. It would be
Like the PC one and everything.
no, it wouldn't even be that. It would just be probably Microsoft owned games. So it would be like if they were cool with putting Halo, Ori, Cuphead, but all the Bethesda games, like that type of stuff. It wouldn't be like, hey, fucking, we have Outriders on Xbox on Game Pass. That wouldn't be on Switch. Would be how I think it would work out. It would just be basically the Microsoft only version of Game Pass.
So here's the thing that I was reading from before. So this is from an email from Phil Spencer to Tim Sweeney of Epic. At the highest levels of Microsoft, we are committed to pushing on these policies and continuing to expand our console platform's capabilities. You can chime in as you feel comfortable, but I did want to let you know that I have your point on xCloud on other consoles. I haven't given up. Free to play outside of Gold, we will get there, and I want to partner with you. So he doesn't like flat out say like what consoles the xCloud would be going to.
Mm-hmm.
But he says, like, I'm not giving up on, like, putting xCloud on other consoles.
Yeah. And I mean, you have to
And that's from August of 2020, that email.
And you have to remember too that like there was one point, and I've never really looked further into it where this stands now, but Microsoft and Sony are also partnered in again, I don't know how it all breaks down and how these things fragment and segment themselves, but from what I understand, Mike, is Azure would that be the same thing that runs xCloud for them?
Yeah, I believe so. I think Azure is just
like that's their cloud thing, right?
Yeah, like that's their infrastructure basically.
So from what I understand, at some point Microsoft and Sony also partnered where Azure is going to be the infrastructure for Sony consoles going forward as far as cloud stuff. So like at the bare minimum, like Microsoft's a big company outside of gaming and like they have these resources, and Nintendo and Sony don't have those types of resources in regards to like cloud infrastructure. So their options are Microsoft, Amazon, or Google. Maybe there's a Asian company as well. I don't know. Mike might know that would have like a large.
Not that I know of.
Yeah. So I don't. Maybe Tencent owns something that does or whatever. But like those are basically the options if you want to have, that type of infrastructure backing your thing. So, and I think specifically because of the existence of Stadia, and I guess I don't know, does Amazon Luna? Is that like their streaming gaming thing? Is that their Stadia?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if I am PlayStation, maybe it makes more sense for me to align with Microsoft than it does to align with Stadia and Amazon. Who the fuck knows?
Isn't Netflix doing something with gaming now too? Wasn't there news on that?
There was some Netflix news this week. I did not look into it. I don't know if anyone else did, but
I didn't.
Was it just about like acquiring and making game studios though, or was it about a streaming thing?
I don't know. I feel like streaming would be like if they could, like that would be a huge place for Xbox games. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think when I think about it, Netflix trying to get into streaming gaming might be the most. It would make sense for them.
I think it's the best move for them right now, personally, because I think that like there's so many streaming sites out there that are doing it just as well. So I think they need to
they've already got a foot in the door, basically being like, hey, you can stream movies to us. If you want to play games, like you already have it installed. Just
it would definitely be probably the easiest for Netflix to just expand their already humongous footprint for a similar type of customer. But I will say, and again, I'm not a fucking streamologist. Like I don't know the science and the nitty gritty and the technology behind all this shit. But streaming content that you're just viewing, as opposed to content that has to interact with a user, and that level of input between the user and the content, I don't know if Netflix would need to like.
They're probably not currently equipped for it.
Yeah, exactly. So like, is it actually the right call for Netflix if it would mean they'd have to invest, X amount of millions or billions of dollars to, change the Netflix, server farms or whatever the fuck they need to do? I don't know. You can clearly tell that I don't know what I'm talking about right now, but as far as the science of it, but I feel like that would probably be a part of the equation there, and that they're not currently equipped for that at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, if this is something that they plan to do, then obviously they would have to put the money down to get set up for it. But in terms of just having name recognition and being...
Oh, it's a brand.
Already, have X amount of users, then it makes... If they were trying to pitch it to investors like, I know everyone else is doing it, but these are the reasons why we think it could work. Can you lend us some money to make it happen? That could be something they do.
So now that we brought it up, I looked up a quick article. So there's an article over at Polygon from Nicole Carpenter. Report says Netflix really wants to get into video games. Netflix is reportedly searching for an executive to head up an expansion into video games, according to a report published Friday by The Information. I have no idea what that website is. The report suggests Netflix has approached multiple veteran game industry executives regarding the position, which would expand its efforts in video games. The Information reported that Netflix is considering a quote-unquote bundle of games available via a subscription like Apple Arcade. The Apple bundle launched in 2019 with a number of exclusives, blah, blah, blah. A Netflix spokesperson told Polygon the company is excited to do more with the interactive entertainment. The full statement is available below. Our members value the variety and quality of our content. It's why we've continually expanded our offering from series to documentaries, film, local language originals, and reality TV. Members also enjoy engaging more directly with stories they love through interactive shows like Bandersnatch and You vs. Wild, or games based on Stranger Things, La Casa de Papel, and To All the Boys. So we're excited to do more with interactive entertainment. So maybe that's where they're going, is just expanding on the ideas that they already do with some of those things, with like choose your own adventure or whatever. I don't know. But
cool. I mean, I think it's a smart move for them to just get involved in gaming, because no other streaming service is really doing that right now. They should be the first one to dip into
yeah, no, I definitely think it's a smart avenue for them to go down.
And honestly, most of the movies they put on Netflix, I'd say like for every good movie, there's 10 bad ones. That's like Netflix has never really been really. Even their TV shows, I feel like it's the same way. They just they go out there and fucking take as many swings as possible, just hoping for a home run, And they get it not half the time. They get it here and there, but I mean, there's a lot of shit on Netflix.
Yeah. Well, I guess closing up on this little excerpt from the court case, I think that this isn't just Nintendo, throwing a black Sharpie on anything that is their business dealings. I think there's a reason as to why that they specifically sought out to have this information redacted from public record so that, people can't speculate, or what have you. Am I alone in thinking that? Everyone else is kind of just on they're just being Nintendo?
We kept getting told that everything on the shelves in the Xbox videos meant something, and the Switch kept showing up. And we still haven't gotten any word on that. So
I think that's it. I mean, I think that at the bare minimum, I think they're going to be, again, whether it's branded as xCloud or not, I think that they're probably trying to secure a deal with Nintendo to be the company that does their streaming.
What if they're just setting up like a better way to play all the old? Like, how like Nintendo's old
could be that too.
It's like the worst. It's like the worst case scenario right now for that.
Yeah, maybe they're gonna.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, maybe they're just gonna be the company that builds a Game Pass for Nintendo that isn't Xbox. It's just Nintendo's library of legacy content. That could be a thing. I mean, who knows?
That'd be cool. Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely think there's a reason why this was covered up. Mike, any thoughts before we wrap things up?
Nope.
What do you think either way? Do you think that streaming's xCloud / Game Pass is coming to Switch or no?
I've got no real reason to believe that it's going to happen definitively.
Mhm.
I believe that they're probably having talks, but
Yeah.
talks don't mean anything. Like anything could happen that it just falls through at the very end. So I'm not saying definitively, yeah, it's coming. But I do believe that they're probably negotiating something.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're negotiating, and
Banjo
until it
3.
comes to fruition, can't say for sure what it is.
Don't waste a game on that.
Oh, Microsoft is definitely going to make a new Banjo game.
Oh,
If it's not already being
I
developed,
think
it's
the
definitely
old
going
ones are
to.
fucking trash.
I think you're going to not be met with the same opinion
I'm
from
okay
Dom.
with that. That's fine.
Wouldn't it also be Banjo 4?
Music's awesome.
It would
but-
technically be Banjo 4, yeah. But they would probably call it Banjo 3. I feel like that's what the fans would want.
Sure.
Unless they called it like Banjo 4 and then like worked 3E into like the subtitle somehow as like a little nod to that.
Banjo Forever.
I could see it. I think Banjo's coming. I think that's a no-brainer.
Right. CFUs is thriving right now. Those guys aren't fucking jumping.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be developed by Rare. Microsoft owns the IP. They can be developed by whoever. You're going to see with all these new studios that Microsoft has, you're going to see people making whatever fucking games they want under Microsoft. Like I wouldn't be surprised if you see, teams outside of the coalition working on Gears. Maybe not like fully the coalition isn't going to work on Gears, but like maybe it's like, hey, this group of people from the coalition and like this group of people from fucking Arcane are going to make the next Gears game. Like you're going to see shit like that, or at least see a lot of these studios utilizing resources and stuff together because they're all under the same umbrella. Why wouldn't they?
I just want to say for like the fantasy gaming thing we did, my picks are starting to line up and look very solid.
I mean, I'm in a good spot. With mine.
Well, like everyone was raving about that like little preview they got a Deathloop, so I'm like, that's because I picked that and everyone's like, ooh, that could go either way. But
yeah,
like,
no, I think Deathloop's gonna review very well.
Yeah, I can't wait.
But anyways, keep it tight. Roll it right at an hour. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening to this week's episode 259 of the Pass Controller Podcast. If you're a friend of the show, fan of the show, want to help support the show, the easiest way to do that and the freest way to do that is to find us on social media, give us a follow, share the podcast on social media, let a friend know about us, and leave us a review wherever you can leave podcast reviews. I know Apple Podcasts has that option. We would very much appreciate it if you left us a review. It helps us be discovered by more fans out there. If you have a few bucks kicking around, you want to help support the show, you can do that in a few different ways. You can go to patreon.com/passthecontroller, becoming a patron. You can go to passthecontroller.threadless.com and buying some sick swag. Or you can subscribe to the Twitch channel at twitch.tv/passcontroller. I also want to mention, I forgot to mention this earlier because it wasn't in my notes, I will be doing a 12-hour live stream on June 12th, Saturday, to raise money for myasthenia gravis. I completely forgot to talk about that. So that's there. That's coming up in a few weeks. So signal boost that if you can on social media, tune in if you can, and obviously if you can donate, that would be wonderful if you could donate. We do have 2 new shirts available right now, and all of the proceeds from those shirts will get donated when that's over. So yeah, there's all that stuff. Anyways, you can find me at BGroom. You can find Mike at _Michaelpath. You can find Todd at Toddy_by_nature. You can find Dom at PTC One Little Spark. And thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode 259 of the Pass Controller Podcast.